Have you ever sat alone after a conversation that left you feeling completely drained, replaying every smile, every promise, every little comment in your head, wondering why you feel smaller, used, and somehow at fault even though you did everything right? Why does it seem like the people who swear they have your back are the exact same ones who quietly sabotage you the moment it benefits them? What if the respect you've been begging for, the loyalty you keep giving out like it's free, isn't missing because you're not good enough, but because you've been playing a game you never even knew had rules? And what if I told you that right now, in your life, someone close to you is using those exact rules on you while you're still trying to figure out why you feel so disrespected and invisible? Listen, if you're the kind of man who shows up every single day, puts in the work, stays loyal in your job, your relationship, your circle, only to watch the slick talkers get the promotion, the attention, the power while you're left holding the bag and questioning your own worth, then this is going to cut straight into your chest. You know that moment when your boss laughs at your idea in the meeting then presents it as his own 2 weeks later? Or when your partner flips the script and makes you apologize for something they did, leaving you convinced you must be the crazy one? That's not bad luck. That's not people being people. That's the game, and you've been losing because no one ever handed you the playbook. You felt that quiet rage in your gut when you bite your tongue instead of calling it out, that tightness in your throat when you swallow the truth because you don't want to seem bitter or difficult. You've ignored the way their eyes shift when you ask a direct question, the way their words sound perfect but land empty. You've told yourself, maybe I'm overthinking it 100 times because admitting the pattern would mean admitting how long you've been played. But here's the raw truth that changes everything the second it sinks in. People are not who they appear to be. Their behavior is a mask hiding cold, calculated intention. And the man who understood this better than anyone lived 500 years ago in the cutthroat world of Renaissance Italy. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli, and he didn't write fairy tales about virtue winning in the end. He wrote the unfiltered map of power, how it really moves through fear, deception, and human weakness. Robert Greene took those same principles and turned them into the 48 laws of power because he saw they still run everything today. And when you finally see them, you stop being the victim and start becoming the one who moves differently. You start reading the room like Joe Navarro reads body language, spotting the micro-expressions that betray the lie before the words even finish. You start understanding the unconscious drive Sigmund Freud mapped out, those hidden hungers for control and status that make people betray you with a smile. The first dark psychology rule Machiavelli lived by is never reveal your true intentions. Ever. The moment you spill your plans, your dreams, your next move, you hand someone the exact weapon they need to block you or steal it. Psychologically, this works because the human brain is wired for pattern recognition and prediction. When people know what you want, they can position themselves as the gatekeeper or the saboteur without you ever seeing it coming. Think about the colleague who asked you over drinks how you planned to pitch that big project. He listened like a best friend, eyes wide, nodding along, then walked into the Monday meeting and delivered your exact strategy while you sat there stunned. He didn't look evil. He looked helpful. That's the genius. In your personal life, it shows up when you open up to a woman about your insecurities only for her to weaponize them later during an argument, making you feel like the unstable one so she stays in control. Machiavelli saw this in the courts of princes who lost everything the second they trusted the wrong advisor. The fix is simple but brutal. Keep your mouth shut about what you're really building. Let them talk. Let them reveal. You become the observer, the one who knows while they guess. And right now, pause this for 10 seconds and think about one person in your life who suddenly knows way too much about your next move. Who is it? Drop their initial in the comments if this already has you seeing them different, because naming it starts the shift. But once you master keeping your intentions hidden, the second rule hits even harder. It is far better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Love is fickle, Machiavelli wrote. It depends on gratitude, and gratitude disappears the second the favors stop. Fear, on the other hand, is rooted in the deep animal part of the brain that worries about survival. People may not like you, but they won't cross you if the consequence feels real. This isn't about being a bully. It's about calculated respect earned through consistent boundaries that make others think twice before testing you. In dark psychology terms, fear activates the amygdala, that ancient alarm system that overrides logic. You see it in the boss who everyone whispers about but never disrespects because the last guy who tried suddenly found himself without a team. Or in the relationship where the moment you stopped being the nice guy who tolerated everything and started enforcing consequences, her behavior changed overnight. Most men stay in the love trap because they were raised thinking kindness equals weakness. Nietzsche would call that slave morality, the lie that the strong should soften themselves for the weak. Machiavelli knew better. You can still be fair, but the second someone senses you won't actually do anything when they push harder. Start small. Miss one deadline on purpose when they disrespect your time and watch how fast the dynamic flips. The discomfort you feel right now reading this is the exact resistance that has kept you small. Feel it, then use it. And if you think that's cold, wait until Rule 3 sinks in. The ends always justify the means. This one makes people uncomfortable because it strips away the moral theater we all pretend to live by. Machiavelli didn't say be evil for fun. He said when the stakes are power, survival, legacy, you do what is necessary and you don't lose sleep over the story people tell about it afterward. Socially, this exists because every group, every company, every relationship is a quiet power struggle masked as harmony. The colleague who threw you under the bus to save the project? He got promoted. The friend who spread a rumor to isolate you from the circle? He kept his status. They didn't feel guilty because their brain justified it as necessary. You've done it too without realizing, maybe ghosted someone because keeping them around drained your focus. That's the rule in action. The danger is when you apply it without awareness, you become the manipulator. The power is when you apply it with eyes open. You stop being the one sacrificed on someone else's altar. Picture the entrepreneur who fired his underperforming best friend because the business was bleeding money. Everyone called him heartless. 6 months later the company was thriving and the friend admitted he needed the push. Ends justified. No apology needed. This rule frees you from the paralysis of, but what will they think? Rule 4 builds straight on that. Appear merciful while being ready to strike without hesitation the moment mercy becomes weakness. Machiavelli advised princes to cultivate the image of generosity and compassion because it disarms suspicion, but when the wolf shows its teeth, you cut its throat first. In psychological terms, this is the contrast principle Cialdini talks about. People judge you by the difference between what they expect and what they get. They expect you to be nice because you've trained them that way. When you suddenly enforce a boundary like a lion, the shock alone makes them back down. You see it in the relationship where you've been the calm one for years. Then one day you calmly say, "This behavior ends now or I'm gone," and mean it. Suddenly the manipulation stops. In the office, the quiet guy who never raises his voice suddenly presents evidence of sabotage and watches the loudmouth shrink. The key is timing and calibration. You don't become cruel. You become unpredictable in the best way. Most people miss this completely because they think consistency means being the same every day. Machiavelli knew the fox changes its fur with the season. Rule 5 is one that will make you look at your circle completely different. Keep your enemies closer than your friends. The friend will tell you what you want to hear. The enemy will reveal what you need to know because their hatred makes them careless. They overplay their hand trying to hurt you. Machiavelli learned this watching rivals in Florence plot against each other. In your life, it's the co-worker who competes with you openly. Watch how he moves, what he values, who he flatters. That information becomes your shield. Or the ex who still circles your social media. Their bitterness leaks clues about what they're planning next. Instead of avoiding them, study them. Turn their energy into intelligence. This rule feels dark at first because it forces you to drop the fantasy that everyone can be won over. Some people are wired for opposition. Accept it, use it, and you gain the upper hand every single time. Rule 6 is the classic duality every powerful man eventually learns. Be both the lion and the fox. The lion scares with raw strength. The fox wins with cunning. Machiavelli said you must have both because force alone gets you trapped and trickery alone gets you exposed. In dark psychology, this is about reading the room like Paul Ekman reads micro-expressions. Spot the lie, then decide whether to confront with lion energy or outmaneuver with fox strategy. The guy who cut you off in traffic and flipped you off? Lion roars back once. The boss stealing credit? Fox plants a paper trail and waits. You become impossible to pin down. People start respecting the mystery. Rule 7 is control the narrative before someone else writes it for you. Whoever frames the story first owns the truth in most people's minds. Gaslighting works because the manipulator gets their version in first and repeats it until your memory doubts itself. You counter by documenting everything quietly and planting your version early with the right people. In meetings, in relationships, in group chats, speak first, speak clearly, speak with calm certainty. The brain believes the first coherent story it hears. Own that slot. Rule 8. Use strategic flattery the way a sniper uses a scope. Genuine praise is rare. Calculated praise opens doors because it hits the ego's hunger. Machiavelli flattered princes to stay alive. You use it to lower defenses. Compliment the insecure coworker on his vision, right before you ask for the favor that benefits you. Watch him move mountains. It works because the unconscious mind craves validation more than almost anything. But never overdo it. One sincere-sounding line is worth 10 cheap ones. Rule 9. Understand that greed and fear are the two levers that move every human being. Freud called them the ID's deepest drives. Tap the right one and people become predictable. Offer the greedy man status and he'll sell his soul. Threaten the fearful man with exposure and he'll fold. In your relationship, the partner who cheats isn't confused. They're chasing the dopamine of new validation. In business, the colleague who backstabs is usually terrified of being irrelevant. Spot the lever, pull gently, and you guide the outcome. Rule 10. Eliminate threats while they're still small. Machiavelli watched too many rulers wait until the rebellion was at the gates. Cut the disloyal employee before he poisons the whole team. End the toxic situationship before it drains years. The pain of doing it early is nothing compared to the destruction later. Most men wait because they hope it gets better. Hope is the enemy of power. Rule 11. Reward loyalty publicly and punish betrayal privately. Public praise builds your image as a leader worth following. Private punishment keeps the fear sharp without looking cruel. The team member who delivers gets the shout-out in front of everyone. The one who leaks gets a quiet conversation that ends their access. This balance is what keeps empires and relationships stable. Rule 12. Adapt like the wind or get broken like the tree. Circumstances change daily. The rigid man who clings to "this is how I've always done it" gets left behind. Machiavelli saw kings fall because they couldn't shift when the political weather changed. In your life, it means dropping the strategy that worked last year when the people around you changed. Read the new room. Adjust. Survive. Rule 13. Never show unnecessary vulnerability. Your pain is information. Guard it. The moment you trauma dump to the wrong person, you give them the map to your destruction. Share selectively, only after trust is proven through action, never words. Rule 14. Simulate emotions when real ones would expose you. Sometimes you need to look angry to stop disrespect. Sometimes you need to look calm when you're raging inside. Actors do this for roles. Powerful men do it for life. The body language follows the face, and people believe what they see. Rule 15. Power is perception. Manage how others see you more than how you actually feel in the moment. Dress the part, speak the part, move the part, and the mind fills in the rest. People don't respond to reality. They respond to the story they tell themselves about you. Rule 16. Always have a contingency plan, because fortune is a woman who favors the prepared. Machiavelli said she is fickle. When the deal falls through, the relationship ends, the market crashes, your backup plan is already in motion. The man with options never looks desperate. Rule 17. Be feared but never hated. Hate makes people reckless. They'll burn everything down to take you with them. Calculated fear keeps them compliant and alive. Walk that line perfectly. Rule 18. Study behavior like a predator studies prey. Watch how people move when they think no one is looking. The nervous laugh, the quick glance away, the sudden generosity. Those are the tells. Navarro built a career on this. You can build a life. Rule 19. Use others as stepping stones while making them feel like partners. The best manipulation feels like collaboration. They help you climb and thank you for the opportunity. That's the dark elegance of it. Rule 20. Secure your legacy by shaping how history remembers you. Long after the battles, the stories remain. Control the stories. Control how people speak your name when you're gone. Machiavelli wrote a book that still terrifies and empowers 5 centuries later. That is power that outlives flesh. You've sat with all 20 now. The confusion you walked in with is gone. In its place is something sharper, colder, freer. You no longer have to wonder why you've been disrespected. You see the game. You see the moves. And the beautiful part? You can choose to play it differently starting the second this video ends. Walk into your next conversation already reading the intentions behind the smiles. Enforce one boundary you've been avoiding. Keep one plan to yourself that you would have blurted out before. Feel the shift in how people look at you. That discomfort you feel right now is the old you dying. The new you is being born in real time. You're no longer the guy who gets used. You're the man who understands the dark rules and uses them to protect what's his, to build what he wants, to become who he was always meant to be. The game was always rigged against the blind. But now your eyes are open. And the power, it was never theirs. It was waiting for you to claim it. So go claim it. And when you do, come back and tell me in the comments which rule hit you the hardest, because the conversation doesn't end here. It's just getting started. This is Modest Authentic, and if you want more of the unfiltered truth that actually changes how you move through this world, you already know what to do. Turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, watch your back, watch theirs, and never forget, the ones who know the rules write the future. Make sure that one is you.